When human consciousness engages with reality, it is immediately thrown into a multidimensional matrix. By default, we navigate this vast architecture using fragmented partial truths, mistaking our immediate subjective perspective for the entirety of the system. To plot the entirety of human knowledge and experience without collapsing its complexity, we use a map called the Integral Operating System, or IOS. This grid represents the baseline architecture of that system. Any phenomenon manifests across 4 irreducible dimensions, simplified through our basic linguistic pronouns: the subjective I, the objective it, the cultural we, and the social its. The upper left is interior consciousness. The upper right is your physical organism. The lower left covers shared culture, and the lower right tracks social systems. These domains contain vast, nested levels of evolutionary development, locating every aspect of reality on a specific coordinate. Our investigation focuses on the upper left quadrant, the strictly interior domain of subjective, first-person experience. This comprehensive map identifies the exact structural intersection where human suffering is generated, allowing us to isolate the mechanism that drives existential stress. Human consciousness operates with a structural flaw in its default state. This flaw occurs when the subjective I in the upper left falsely identifies with the objective forms of the exterior world. The mind attempts to anchor its identity to the biological body or social structures found in the right-hand quadrants. This is the error of svabhava, the assumption of inherent, independent existence. It is the belief that things possess a solid, unchanging nature from their own side. Because physical systems and social structures are inherently transient, demanding permanence from them generates constant existential stress. Correcting this requires a radical interior operation to locate and sever these false structural tethers at their source. We move entirely into the upper left quadrant to begin the process of interior deconstruction. To end the cycle of suffering, awareness must be turned back upon its own mechanism of manifestation. This process breaks apart the designation of the I by examining its components. The mind is actually composed of 5 distinct data streams known as the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. These 5 aggregates are in a constant state of high-speed flux, arising and disappearing billions of times per second. Analysis shows no individual component, not a passing sensation, specific memory, or single thought, contains a permanent, unchanging self when isolated from the rest. When matter, sensation, and perception work together as a physio-psychological machine, the mind generates the idea of I as a label for the entire combination. This identity is a dynamic linguistic construct, not an unchanging substance. Processing the raw data of these streams requires a specific cognitive algorithm, panya-sai-ka, or reflecting contemplation. The first facet of the lens is anicca, or transiency. The aggregates are observed purely as continuous, undivided movement. The second facet is dukkha, or stress. A system in constant flux lacks the stability required for a permanent anchor, rendering attachment to it stressful. The third facet is anatta, or not self. This completes the deduction. A system in continuous motion lacks a permanent essence or own being. Returning to the full map, we can observe the effect of running this algorithm. As the illusion of a solid ego is reduced to interdependent flux, the subjective consciousness stops grasping at objective forms. Severing the conflation of the I with the it and its allows the practitioner to view the entire cosmic display with the unwavering objectivity of a charioteer observing well-trained horses. Dissolving the external tethers leads to a new structural altitude in the upper left developmental line. This is Sankharupekkha Jnana, the knowledge of equanimity towards conditioned things. In this state, emptiness is distinct from the pre-rational indifference of ignorance. The mind achieves tatra majatata, a refined thermodynamic psychological neutrality. It is a state of perfect impartiality. The mind no longer leaps up at agreeable forms, nor recoils from disagreeable ones. It achieves an internal balance that is unaffected by the presence or absence of external objects. This equanimity is a structurally advanced cognitive state, earned through the rigorous algorithmic deconstruction of the self mechanism. This interior unbinding changes how the individual interacts with the conventional world. These modern structural maps are anchored in ancient documentary foundations, such as the Heart Sutra. Radical deconstruction leads to a non-dual realization, where the conventional world and ultimate reality are non-different. This enlightened engagement views the entire cosmic display through the understanding that samsara is identical to nirvana. Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. Deconstructing the ego does not delete the world, it removes the distortion that prevented us from seeing it. The unbinding of the I provides the structural clarity required to engage with the multidimensional matrix of reality without being bound by the illusion of the self.